So let's start in a comfortable seated position, like we do so many times. And taking a moment to connect with your breath. So breathing in through your body, breathing out. And what I'd like to invite you to do during this time is to sense how your body's feeling as you breathe. And most of you know, a lot of times I like to put the hands on the body because it gives us information about how we are using our breath in our body, how our body is responding to our breath. And so after you have checked in with your body, setting your intention, how do you want to feel after the practice today? How do you want to feel today, tomorrow? And then when you're ready, just bowing your head to the heart, heart to the earth. And I realized that I just have to adjust that a little bit. And so what I'd like to start doing, since we were talking about bones, right? Let's start with a little massage with our hands. So a lot of times we start with tennis balls, but today what I want you to do is I want you to grab onto one of your feet and stretch out your toes a little bit using your fingers. And then you're going to come in from the back of the foot and interlace your fingers in between the toes to the best of your ability. And I know it's a little tight, so you might have to leave a finger out or so. And then you're going to roll through the top part of the foot and the ankle. So most of you know the bones of the foot are the most numerous of any other part of the body. And so we're supposed to have a lot of flexibility in our feet because of all those bones. And so changing directions if you haven't done so, and then we're going to stretch out the toes with the fingers. I don't know how well this shows up on video. And then slide out your hand and pull the toes towards your body, and try not to sickle your foot. Keep it in line with your leg and pull your toes towards your body. And so we're getting a stretch on the top of the foot and the front of the toes, maybe in your ankle a little bit, just kind of noticing what's going on. And then we're going to set that foot down and do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to stretch out the toes. And I know it's been a long time since we've done this as a group. And then interlace your fingers in the back, coming from the back of the foot, and then starting to move the top of the foot side to side, and then including circling through the ankle. And you're just noticing, how does this feel today? Is it gliding? Is it clunky? Is it clicking? And then switching directions if you haven't done so already. And I'm thinking about how I'm going to show you this next part. We're going to do our best on video to make this work. So now you're going to take your feet down to the ground. I'm going to put my feet up on a block maybe. And then I want you to take your thumbs and you're just going to work on your arches with your thumbs. Right? You don't have to put your foot up on a block. I put my feet up on a block so you could see them. All right, so you're massaging and you're noticing what's going on in the bottom of your feet. You might use, two hands on one foot, do the top and the bottom, and notice any tender spots or tight spots, and then the second side. And you might wonder what working on the feet does, but it keeps them supple and flexible. It helps us to be more grounded when we're standing up, so it helps with balance. Lots of great things that happen with the feet. So when you're done with that, we're going to take the feet to the ground. And then what I want you to do, I'm just putting my feet up on blocks a little bit. You're going to massage around your ankles and up the lower leg with your fingers. And you want to do the front and the sides and the back. So since someone asked for the whole skeletal system, we're going to go through the whole body. All right, and then around the knee, and then the second side around the ankle, lower leg, and then around the knee again. And then when you get to your hamstrings, the back of the thigh, you're going to cup your fingers and just go through your hamstrings, right? So it's 4 long, narrow muscles, and you're trying to just invite them to engage instead of working, you know, all together, which they work together as a group, but, you know, wanting them all to be involved. And then the second side, back of the hamstrings, back of the leg, not the back of the hamstrings. And then we're going to do the thighs. And I know I'm going through this quickly, so if you find a spot that you want to stay longer at, please do. So you're going to just take your fingertips or the heels of your hands, or even little gentle punches, and you're going to go from the knee up to the hip. And this is a nice thing to do, whatever the weather is, but especially as it starts to get colder. And it's been kind of nice here lately, not that I've been able to get out and hip, but now second side, working on those quads, the front of the thigh, do the back, the sides as well. All right. Now is when you're going to use your tennis balls. We're going to use the tennis balls around the hips. So you are going to bend your knees and take those tennis balls just in front of the pelvis, and then gently move side to side and front to back. Good morning, everyone. And then you're going to take them to the sides, and you're going to move your knees side to side, and you're letting your glute go into that tennis ball a little bit, softening it up. And then we're going to take the tennis balls to the back. So you're going to sit up, press those tennis. I realize the shirt's in the way, but it's keeping me warm. And bend your knees, press into those tennis balls, and take your knees side to side. So this specifically for the low back and the back of the pelvis. And you're still breathing, noticing what is. Now, this next part, I'm going to give you 2 options, because for some of you, the tennis balls might be too intense. But what you're going to do is you're going to see what this feels like. You're going to carefully come down onto your back, and then you're going to place the tennis balls at the top of the shoulders. And if you have long hair, you're going to make sure it doesn't get stuck in the tennis balls. And then you're going to start to work the tennis balls down the back of the spine. But what you're going to do is make sure that you stay off the vertebrae. So you're on the muscle. So you're going in between the spine and the shoulder blades, right? And if that's too much for you, you can stand up and use one tennis ball against a wall on your back body. But most importantly, you're going to stay off your spine. You're going to make sure it doesn't hurt too much. And always when we're using tennis balls, we want to stay where there is structure, where there is the skeletal system, right? So don't go below your rib cage, or, you know, in between the pelvis and the rib cage. We just want to stay off those soft areas of our body. Now, if it feels okay having those tennis balls under your back body, you're going to take your arms up towards the sky. And then just one at a time, you're going to reach one arm overhead. And if it feels okay, you're going to gently, not big turns of the head, but you're going to gently turn your head away from that arm. And you might find, like I find with the tennis balls there, my arm does not want to go all the way over my head. And you might have worked the tennis balls lower, like onto the back of the rib cage or not, but you're exploring still. I'm realizing as I lay here now, like, you may want to stay a little bit longer, but we are going to move on. So, when you're ready, you're going to roll to the side and we're going to sit on up. And the next thing I want to do is to work on the hands a little bit. So I just want you to use your thumb and kind of massage the heel of your hand, you know, especially that meaty part at the base of the thumb. And then we're going to interlace the fingers and roll through the wrists and go a couple of times in each direction. And then using your hands, you're going to massage from the wrist up the arm. And again, doing all the different sides. You can go in circles around the elbow, do long strokes on your arms, on the long parts of the body. And then you might want to give, you know, the top of the shoulder a little rub. And then do the second side. So this is kind of what I do when I do my abhyanga, you know, and when I dry brush, I use a brush and I do this, and then I oil. And it's really a wonderful practice, oiling the body. You can use any oil that you like, except for like baby oil or mineral oil. You want to use something, you know, like olive oil or sesame oil, coconut oil. All right, so we got those done. Is everybody feeling okay? A little bit looser maybe? So I think from here, let's make our way onto our hands and knees. And if you'd like a blanket under your knees, you're going to go ahead and put one there. And so coming onto your hands and knees slightly in front of your shoulders, no, wrists slightly in front of your shoulders, knees hip width apart. Engage your breath. Notice how your body's feeling. And we'll start with an inhale up here, exhale down into your child's pose. And, you know, we're just warming up. So you're going to move nice and slowly and only go down as far as it feels really good in your body. Maybe deepening with each breath and maybe not. Right? So, and this gives us so much information about what's happening in the shoulders, the hips, the spine, your breath. Now we're going to add on here, and of course there's always options. So the next time you come up, we're going to take the right arm up and the left leg, and we're going to try to keep them parallel with the floor, and your head is looking towards the ground, and you're extending, lengthening with your fingers, pressing with your foot, and you're noticing you probably have to engage your core to keep these limbs lifted. And we're going to exhale, take that hand and knee down. Then we're going to do the second side. So at first we're just, you know, checking in with our balance and our core. And again, your head is in line with your body, arm and leg parallel with the floor. And if you just want to do the arm or the leg, you can do that as well. And again, on an exhale, we're going to take them down. Now we're going to alternate doing the sides. So we're going to extend right arm, left leg. Inhale is here. Exhale, hand and knee come down, and we come into child's pose. Inhale, come up, take the second side. And then exhale, hand and knee come down, you come into child's pose. And you're going to move at your own pace. It might take more than a half a breath to do the movements. And we're going to keep alternating opposite arm and leg on the inhale, child's pose on the exhale. And if it's too early to get this going, again, you modify however you need to make it feel good in your body. So, like I said, you could just do legs, inhaling, extending your leg. You could just do your arms, but it's an exploration. Now we're going to do each side one more time, however you're choosing to do this. And then when you come down into your child's pose after the second side, we're going to stay down there for a moment and then walk the hands over to the right and the hips over to the left. And some of you may want to stay down here for a few breaths. Some of you may want to inhale up and exhale down. Now, the next time that you're on an inhale, we're going to make our way up, walk through the center, and then walk to the second side and do the same thing. Either you're going to stay in your angled child's pose, or you're going to inhale up and exhale down. And you're moving as deeply as it feels good in your body. Long, smooth breaths, no rush. And again, next time you inhale, we're going to come on up, come back to the center, and then we are going to step our right foot forward and slide that left knee back. So now we're in a modified lunge, and you might have blocks under your hands. And you're just going to take a breath here or two. And then we're going to turn the back toes under and lift that knee up off the ground. And I just want you to bend and straighten your back knee with your breath. And you're noticing how it feels in your body. Just bending and straightening that back knee. When you straighten, you reach the heel towards the ground, so you're stretching the lower back of the leg as well. And then we're going to take that back knee eventually down to the ground. And then you're going to walk your hands back, straighten that front leg, flex the foot, reach your body towards that knee. And you might inhale your body up and exhale your head towards that knee. Always exploring what feels good in my body. And then on one of these inhales, you're going to walk your hands forward, making sure that knee is over the front ankle. We're going to turn the back toes under now, and we're going to straighten that back leg. And now we're going to bend and straighten the front knee. Moving with your breath. Again, when we straighten the front leg, we're reaching that back heel towards the ground. And you might, again, have blocks under your hands. Some of you might even be up higher with your hands near your thigh. You could have a hand on a wall. Now, next time your knee is bent, let's bring that back knee to the ground. We're going to step our front leg back, and that left foot will come forward. Again, slide that right knee back a little bit. We're going to stay here for a couple breaths. And then whenever you're ready, turning those back toes under, we're going to straighten that back leg and bend the knee. And you're not necessarily bringing that knee to the ground. You're just bending and straightening, reaching the heel towards the mat when you straighten the leg. And very carefully taking that back knee on the ground, we're going to walk the hands back, straighten the front leg, flex the foot, Possibly inhaling your body up, exhaling it towards the leg. And then on an inhale, we're gonna walk the hands forward, bend the knee, make sure the knee is over the ankle. Turn your back toes under, straighten that back leg. And now we're gonna keep the back leg straight and bend and straighten that front knee. So you may notice we're systematically going through the various joints and muscle groups and noticing how our body is working this morning, and it might be different every morning. Now, next time that front knee is bent, we're going to step the back foot forward. So now we're in a forward bend. You're going to take your hands onto your legs. Inhale halfway up and exhale in towards your legs. And you're going to do that a few times at your own pace. And then eventually we are going to come all the way up, and I'm going to have to readjust my camera. Not used to teaching in this room because it's been a while. Okay, here we go. Let's see, can you see all of me? Mostly. All right. So I want you to find one of those tennis balls and roll under your foot with your tennis ball. And if you don't have a tennis ball, you could, bend through your foot with your foot on the floor. And let's do the second foot. All right. Feeling good. And now let's stand with our feet a little bit wider than your hips, maybe as wide as your mat. We're going to have the hands on the outsides of the legs. Inhale, body up. Exhale, slide down. Again, still warming up. Moving slowly with your breath. You might start to slide that outside arm up. Reaching the elbow, the shoulder towards your ear. You might start to turn your head and look at the shoulder. And then you might start to extend that outside arm overhead and possibly still looking up towards that arm as you come over. Only adding on, of course, if it feels good. One more time on each side. And then we're going to bring our feet about hip width apart. And let's inhale up. We're going to exhale, hands down towards the ground. And then I want you to walk your hands over to one side and shift your hips over to the other. You could have your hands up on your leg or on a block. And then we'll come through the center, second side. And again, making our way back to the center, inhaling, sliding up. And then if you're not already, make your way towards the front of your mat. And what I want to explore, and you could have your hand on a wall. Of course, I have a wall right behind me here. You could have a chair close by. We're going to inhale and step back. We're going to stay in a high lunge, and then we're going to step forward. And you're just going to practice like you're walking, taking big steps, but you're stepping back instead of forward. So notice, are you stepping back or are you When you bring your leg back, are you stepping it back or are you stepping forward, right? There's a difference. Now we're gonna add in some arms, okay, after you finish your second side. So we're gonna step back and you're gonna lift your arms. Some of you might be forward, some of you might be overhead, and then step back. So you're gonna step back, arms extend, moving with your breath, no rush. You're watching your balance, you're watching how your breath moves. And the next time you finish your second side, we're gonna pause for a moment. And let's see, let's have a block close by. What I want you to do is we're going to explore a pose today, triangle pose, Trikonasana. So you're gonna keep your left foot forward and step back with your right leg. Your feet are hip width apart. The back foot is pointing at a 30-degree angle. Your front foot is pointing forward. We're gonna stretch out the arms. And if this arm coming up bothers you, you're gonna keep it on your hip. So we're gonna inhale and exhale, take that hand behind the back leg, and you're gonna start to slide down till you find a comfortable place. You wanna make sure this top shoulder stays open. And again, this hand can be on your hip or extended. And you're just exploring and noticing how that feels. And you're not pushing it, don't go too far. You could have your hand on your leg or the floor or a block. And then we're gonna inhale up and we're gonna pivot bring your feet parallel, and then you're gonna pivot them. So now your right foot is pointing forward, your back foot is at a 30-degree angle, the legs are straight. And whenever we're in a standing position, you're pulling your feet isometrically towards one another. Extend those arms, inhale up, and again, you're gonna exhale, start to come down. This shoulder stays open, right? If you find yourself falling over, you've gone too far. You could have that hand on the hip, and you're exploring as you slide. What feels good in your body? That's the question that you're asking as you're sliding down or holding the position, and you're breathing. And again, on one of these inhales, we're gonna come up. This time we're gonna bring our feet parallel. And now we're gonna explore this position, same pose in a different way. So now you're standing, your legs are wide, feet are parallel. Again, we're gonna start with the arms extended. Inhale is here. Exhale, you're gonna take your hand to the back of the thigh and start to come down. So notice how it feels differently in your body when you just change the position of your feet. Inhale up, we're gonna do the second side. What I notice when I do this with my feet parallel is that I get more of a stretch in a different way in my side body and I don't come down as far, right? And then we're gonna inhale up. You're gonna pause for a moment, and then what I want you to do, and I'm not sure how this is gonna show up on the video, your feet are parallel, we're gonna bend the knees, you're gonna come into a little squat and bring your hands to your heart center. And you're gonna breathe and pause. We're gonna come up onto the right toes and lift that heel up. And then you're gonna bring that heel down and do the second side. I just realized nobody asked for balance today. We're gonna repeat that, come up onto the right toes, and you're breathing still as you're lifting that heel, second side. Beautiful. And then come on up and we'll step the feet together. So now we're about hip width apart again. And we're gonna inhale those arms up and exhale into a little chair. And you're gonna bring the arms up as far as it's comfortable. So sometimes I like to do shoulder height, sometimes a little higher. So you're exploring. The inhale is up, the exhale is down. No rush. You might find yourself wanting to deepen. as you go further into the pose or not. And then we're going to add a twist here. So now we're going to inhale up, exhale, you'll bring one arm back, twist your body in that direction. Inhale up, exhale, mini chair with a twist. And if the arms, extending the arms doesn't work for you, you can keep them on the hips. So one more time on each side. And when you come back to the center, you're going to bring those hands to the heart center, thumbs resting on your sternum. And you're gently pressing in with your hands, but there's a little bit of space in between them. And I want you to find a non-moving spot on the floor to look at. And we're going to take our weight into the left foot, and you're going to come up onto the right toes and pivot through that hip a little bit. And notice that our hands are occupied right now, so I don't want you to use them when we go into this pose. So eventually we're going to take that foot down to the ground, do the second side. And you're just noticing what sensations you feel as you're moving. And we'll bring your left foot down. We're going to come up onto the right toes, turn the knee out, and you're going to start to slide that foot up your lower leg. And you can have your right foot above or below the left knee. Your hands are pressing in towards the center. And then if it feels safe and comfortable, you're going to reach those arms up overhead. You're going to make sure that your ribs are not poking out. Keep breathing, beautiful. Hands back to the heart center, knee forward, foot comes down, second side. Weight into the right foot, turn that left knee out, bring the heel in. Start to slide it up the lower leg. You're still breathing this whole time. And again, if it's safe and comfortable, you're going to reach those arms up overhead. Keep breathing. And again, when you're ready, on an exhale, we start to bring the hands down, knee forward, foot comes down to the ground. And we're going to bring the hands onto the thighs. Inhale, body up, exhale, slide all the way down. And we're going to inhale halfway up and exhale in deeply towards the legs. Knees can be straight or bent. And then on one of your inhales, you're going to come all the way up. Now, I'm going to come down onto my knees so that you can see what I'm doing with my arms, but you're going to stay standing up. And we're going to reach the right arm up and then bend that elbow so that your hand is reaching towards your back body. And then some of you will want to use a strap, and you'll take the strap in your hand. And remember, for a strap, you can use a belt or a shirt, a scarf, and you're going to start to walk that back hand up the strap. So one elbow's pointing up, one elbow's pointing down. Beautiful. Now, I'm going to stand up now that you know what's going on with the arms. Your feet are about hip width apart, so if your right elbow's up, you're going to keep that right foot forward and you're going to step back about 1 meter with your left foot. Both feet are pointing forward isometrically. The legs are pulling towards one another. We're going to inhale, body up. Exhale, start to come forward just a little bit. Inhale up and down. So there's no rush. You're moving with your breath. You're making sure you're not dropping your elbows. Use that core. And next time you come up, we're going to carefully release the arms, step the feet together, roll through your shoulders. And then we're going to do the second side. So you're going to have that strap in the left hand, bend your elbow, the hand is reaching down the back body. You're going to start to walk your right hand up towards the left hand. And you're breathing and noticing, again, all the wonderful sensations. If it doesn't work holding the strap, you can just keep your elbow bent with your hand gently resting on your back body. And again, once you're ready, we're going to keep the left foot forward if your left elbow is up, and you're going to step back with the right foot about a meter's distance, legs stay straight, isometrically pulling towards one another. Inhale, body up. Exhale, come forward. We're not going for depth here, right? You're going for using your core muscles to help stabilize you as you move forwards and backwards. And you're moving with your breath. And the next time you inhale up, we're going to release those arms, step the feet together, roll through those shoulders. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. We're going to make our way down towards the ground, and what I'd like you to have when you're down there, if you have a bolster, you can grab that, or you can have a rolled blanket or a towel. And I want you to make a nice big long roll with your blanket and put it into the center of your mat. So we're going to come down to the floor, and you have this nice big roll. So I'll give everybody a minute to get there. And then when you're ready, because I know some of us move more quickly than others, you're going to set yourself up head, body, and hips on your roll, okay, or on your bolster. The main thing is that I want you to be super, super comfortable. So if it's not comfortable, you can do this without anything underneath you. But since we were talking about the spine today, I thought this would be nice. So as you settle into the ground, I want you to feel the knees are bent, your feet are flat. See if you can soften the shoulders towards the ground, softening that heart center, and just relaxing for a moment, connecting with your breath. Now, the first movement that we're going to do is to, on the inhale, you're going to start to open your knees out to the sides, bottoms of the feet come together and bring them together. You're just moving through the legs. Inhale, knees move away from one another, bottoms of the feet come together. Exhale, knees come back together. Inhale, open the knees. Exhale, close. So exploration, noticing what's happening, especially in the pelvis and the low back. Now, if that feels okay, we're going to add in some arms. And again, always an exploration. So the inhale, arms come up. Some of you might bring them towards the sky. Some of you might bring them overhead. Exhale, knees together, arms come down. Moving with your breath and your body, however it's working this morning. And we're going to do it one more time. And when your knees come together and your arms come down, we're going to pause for a moment. And then I want you to explore just turning your head. So you're going to look one direction, head back to the center, look the other direction, moving again with your breath. Now we're going to do the same thing with the knees. So you have your arms to help stabilize you because you're on this rolled blanket. And so you're just going to inhale, knees center, exhale, take them down just a little bit, like maybe 3-4 inches, and come back to the center. So you're not taking your knees all the way to the ground, even if you can. You're just moving a little bit through your knees with your breath. Inhale, center, exhale to the side. And the next time you finish your second side, we're gonna lift up our hips and our head and take out that roll. So now you are going to be flat on your mat, on your back, with your knees bent. And we're gonna do a little vinyasa, a number of connected movements, which most of you know. So the inhale, you're gonna press the arms down, lift up the hips and the chest. Exhale, hips come down, knees come in towards your chest. Inhale, arms overhead, legs towards the sky. Exhale, knees in towards the chest. Hold on to them. Inhale, feet down, arms overhead, hips and chest come up. Exhale, hips come down, knees come in, you grab onto them. Inhale, legs up, arms overhead. Exhale, knees into the chest. Inhale, feet down, arms overhead, hips and chest lift. Exhale, hips down, knees come into the chest. Inhale, extend the legs, arms come overhead. Exhale, knees into the chest. We'll do it one more time. Inhale, feet down, hips and chest up, arms overhead. Exhale, hips down, knees into the chest. Inhale, legs overhead, arms overhead, legs towards the sky. Exhale, knees into the chest. And once you're holding on to your knees this last time, you might want to roll back and forth or make little circles with your knees. And then we're going to hold on to the right knee and extend the left leg out, flex that foot, let it stay hovering over the floor. And you're breathing and you're holding that leg up. Now, while you're holding on to this knee, I want you to explore bringing it out to the side, right? And you're not going to force it, you're just going to explore bringing that knee out to the side. If it's too much to hold your leg up, of course, it's okay to let it down. And next time your knee comes back to the center, we're going to bring in the right leg, hold on to the right knee, extend the left leg out, and again, explore opening that right knee out to the side. And while you're doing this, like you're noticing what's happening in your pelvis, in your spine as you're moving. Don't overdo it. And then when that knee comes back to center, we're going to bring in the left knee. And now let's bring that right foot down to the ground. You're going to extend the left leg up towards the sky, and we're going to just slide it towards our body. So you're going to have your hands on your leg. Inhale when the leg is away from you. Exhale, bring that leg in towards your body. Just moving with that one leg, letting it slide up and down your hands with your breath. Again, no forcing. Next time your leg is perpendicular, let's bend that left knee, take it down to the floor, and then we're going to straighten out the right leg. And again, inhale, the leg is away from you. Exhale as that leg slides in. Again, next time your leg is perpendicular, we're going to bend that knee, take that foot to the ground. And then I want you to pause for a moment and notice how your body's feeling. With this next one, I want you to, you're going to explore, because we're going to work with the head and the neck. So we're going to take the hands onto the thighs. And the inhale is going to be when we're in this somewhat relaxed position. And then exhale, you're going to slide your hands up your thighs and lift your head and shoulders. Inhale, come down to the ground. Exhale, slide up your thighs and lift your head. And again, it might be that you like that it doesn't work for your body to lift the head, so you might be moving your hands and engaging your core. You're exploring what works for you today. This will be our last one. And then we're going to straighten one leg at a time. And again, we're going to keep our hands on our thighs or your legs, wherever they come to. And this time you're going to slide both legs in towards your body. So you're inhaling, legs away, exhaling, both legs towards your body. Hands slide up and down your legs as you're moving with your breath. Now again, next time the legs are pointing up towards the sky, we're going to bend them and bring them one at a time down to the ground. And we haven't done this in a long time, but we're going to cross the left knee over the right. So you're crossing at the knee, not the ankle. And you're going to lift up your hips and shift them over to the left, So check. So the left knee is on top. You're shifting the hips to the left. And then you're going to take the knees over to the right. So hips go left, knees go right. And then if it's comfortable, you're going to turn your head to the left. Now, of course, you're going to make sure that nothing hurts, that you can still breathe easily. You might want a little prop under your knees if they don't come down to the ground so that you can relax into this position. Some of you might even feel a little nice stretch in your psoas that connects the pelvis and the ribs, kind of deep in the front. Now, when you're ready to come out, some of you might want to stay a little bit longer, but when you're ready, you're going to carefully lift your knees up, shift your hips back to the center, uncross the legs, and then we'll cross the right knee over top. And again, if the right knee is over to the top, you're shifting the hips to the right and taking the knees to the left. And again, if it feels okay, you're going to turn your head to the right. And making sure that you're comfortable, backing off, using props under your knees, whatever it is that helps you to feel good here. And again, in your own time, when you're ready, you'll shift your knees back to the center, shift your hips back to the center, and then maybe bring your knees into the chest and take them in a little circle or just hug them. And this is a time that I want you to think about what you want to do for Shavasana. So if you liked that little roll under the spine, you might want to place your body on that again. Explore and see what your body wants. And then in your own time, you're going to start to set yourself up for Shavasana. And remember, the idea in Shavasana is that we're as comfortable as possible. So as you get yourself set up, settling in, letting yourself being completely supported by the ground beneath you, the earth beneath that. Long, smooth, gentle breaths. Asatoma Satgamaya Om Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Om Mrityomam Amritam Gamaya Om. Kind of feel like today might have been a day to do a longer Shavasana. But even though I'm going to invite you to start to bring your awareness back into your body and your breath, and to maybe remember how you were feeling at the beginning of class and how you feel now. And if you do decide that you need a longer Shavasana, it's okay to stay there longer. Do your own thing. And if you are ready to come up, you're going to come to a seated position. And take a moment to connect with your breath. And if you're breathing through your nose, I want you to, as you're breathing, notice a spot in your nostril. One spot. And once you pick the spot, you can't change it, right? And you're just gonna focus on that one spot as you breathe. So you're sitting and you're breathing and you're noticing this one spot. And if your brain tells you you have to choose a different spot, just stick with the first spot. And you're just noticing that spot. Does it feel like cool as you breathe in? Does it feel dry or moist? Cool or warm? And you're just noticing that one spot. And in your own time, you'll release that spot and thank yourself for showing up today. And then let's close with our planetary healing sounds. And I want to thank all of you for being here and for all of my teachers and all the teachings over all of the years, as well as my ancestors. And so let's inhale those arms up. We'll exhale the sound Hu to the heart. Hu. Inhaling the arms out to the side. Exhaling Ah to the heart. Ah. And inhaling, scooping up from the ground, the sound Om to the heart. Om. So thank you all so much. I love seeing your faces. Namaste.